A very good evening to our viewers. Welcome to Elite TV and you're watching Elite TV's Open Debate in English. I'm Amrita, your host for this crucial debate on the topic, prioritizing education, reopening schools and the way forward. It is said that if you want to conquer a nation, destroy its education system first. It sounds very true today. It tells us how a nation's freedom and existence is related to its education system. The journey that began with the reopening of schools for classes 1 to 8 on the 5th of July has been one of both optimism and complexity. As we approach the next phase of resuming in-person classes for classes 9 to 12 from the 10th of August, we're met with a reality where some of our government schools remain occupied by the army, while others have been transformed into relief camps. Soon after the reopening, schools have scheduled their half-yearly exams. To complete the syllabus, students are resorting to expensive tuition classes. However, those who cannot afford neither the schools nor the tuitions seems to be left out. With hearts full of concern and shared aspiration for our children's future, our debate seeks to uncover the challenges and solutions that will help us navigate this intricate path. Our panel of experts are here to discuss on this topic. Let's extend a warm welcome to our panelists. Our first panelist for today is Dr. Rajivkumar Narengbam, founder IRE Wangjing. Welcome to Elite TV's Open Debate, Mr. Rajivkumar.
Thank you.
Our second panelist for today is Lakpati Uripok Apunba Lup. Welcome to Elite TV's Open Debate, Lakpati.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's begin our debate right away. So my first question is to Dr. Rajivkumar. I'll start with the question with you, sir. My first question is in context with the present situation in Manipur, the violence and that has been ongoing since we are entering the 4th month of this ethnic violence. My first question is, does free and fair education and the right to education still have meaning?
Actually, there is a diversification of the classes which we have been experiencing that it's almost 100 crossed days due to the turmoil of the classes between this conflict. So there are so many students who are in the conflict, especially from More and from Sero and this Torbung and other things, because at this critical condition, it is also very hard to open the schools. But no doubt, because education at the time of war, it should be open, yes. Especially in the in the global context. Also during war, educations are free.
Yes.
So, in this sense of ideas, we can also think that education must be given a free hand, because education should be conducted at the cost of anything. So my suggestions is, because government is taking so much care that especially from lower section to the class 8, the schools are open, but there is a hardship that the private schools are open and the government schools are still having hindrances and problems because many armies are camped there. So because of this problems, even the government is not taking initiatives at this critical hour that they should be posted somewhere which does not hampers the campus of the schools. They can be engaged somewhere where, yes. Because the paramilitary forces may be required at this moment, but I don't know whether this really serves the purpose or not, but okay. There should be camped somewhere out of this school campus, because school campus should not be given any hindrances in the flow conduct of the classes. Okay. And we find that private schools are conducting their classes, yes. At the cost of the fees, whatever they have taken up from the school parents and all things. But in my opinion, the government is still taking care to open up the schools, the classes from class 9 to class 12. Because they are also thinking, they also must be thinking that it's a part of the precautions. It must be a part of the precautions when any sensitive situation has come up. means the senior students will take part. This is what they must be thinking of. So otherwise, class 10, 11, 12, it's a very hard time for them because the board exams also very close by.
Yes.
Once December comes, means we cannot cope up the syllabus.
Yes.
So we have lost so many things during the COVID hours,
Yes.
during
Exactly.
this conflict. So Manipur, not only Manipur, it's a education sector has been falling down.
Yes.
Without education, the generation will collapse. So education has to be taken very special care, and whatever problem may be there, we should always try to avoid the areas and the jurisdiction where the education is flowing. So it should be given a freedom, and at any cost, we must try to avoid the periphery where the hindrances and dangers are coming to the atmosphere of the schools. So in my suggestions, in my opinion, that I think government should take a very challenging step to open up schools and vacate the armies where they are installed.
Okay.
So they should find a solution, other ways where the school classes can be opened, because we don't find that the equilibrium between the private and government sectors are like now it's a bifurcated, because the government cannot start the programs. So until and unless the government tries to find a place, a ways just to start schools in the government sector.
Okay.
This
Thank
is
you.
my
Yeah.
opinion.
Thank you so much for the initial points that Dr. Rajivkumar has put forward is to vacate the schools that are being occupied by armies and to give no hindrance to education at any cost. Okay, I'll be coming to Mr. N. Lakpati for my second question. So my question to you is that how can the government ensure the safety and well-being of students from this especially from those affected regions, especially when some schools are still occupied? So what are your suggestions to the government, and how can the government ensure the safety and well-being? Mr. Lakpati.
Good evening
Good evening.
to all the viewers and panelists out there. The very onset, education sector has already been hit adversely nationwide since the early part of 2020 due to COVID across the nation and in Manipur too. But at present, it is again more adversely hit in Manipur due to the violence that has been continuing since May 3rd. The only difference between the COVID time and now is that during the COVID time there were online classes,
Yes.
which had helped the students across every sectors in carrying on their studies and all. But
Yes.
as of now in Manipur, the matter is of very serious concern,
Yes.
because students today will be a part of the machineries that will be running the country in the next few decades, maybe in the judiciary, in the legislatures, among the executives, and among the professionals in the media. So this issue needs to be addressed very seriously, and the government at the moment have already ordered the reopening of school from elementary and off late. It has also issued order to open the classes from 9 to 12 in all schools. But in spite that the government order is very welcoming at the moment, but how is it going to be implemented is the question.
Yeah.
Is it going to get implemented uniformly across the state? Because the state, the ongoing violence have already hit many sections of the society on both sides, not only in valley, also in the hills. Many students who were a part of the schools in the valley are now in relief camp in the hills area. And where from there also, from Churchandpur, displaced people from Surachandpur, from the peripheral villages, from More are now in the relief camp.
Yes.
So these are the order of opening the school going to get implemented uniformly across the state is the question of the hour.
Yes.
At present, less than 50% of the schools, both private and government, in the affected areas are not opening. issues had already been issued to those schools, but there are difficulties in opening those schools as regularly as we are seeing here in Valley. In Valley, we are seeing at the moment few schools are starting to conduct their half-yearly examinations too.
Yes, yes.
But what about other students? What about the other students? Are they not students of the state? So the government, while issuing an order, it is very much necessary that they take up measures that all the issues faced by the students are addressed. Not that such an order, issuing such an order in order to show that normalcy has started to return to the violent state like Manipur, just to show that normalcy has started to return, and by issuing such order will not serve. And we can also see, many government schools, higher senior secondary schools, even in Imphal area, are utilized by the security personnel. And many schools, many educational institutions at the rural areas, at other districts apart from Imphal, are now being used as relief camps. So how are we going to accommodate all those students, violence hit students, all the students coming from the affected areas is a matter of serious concern. So the government need to have a comprehensive, plan to how to accommodate them, how to make uniformity while educating the students. I mean, there should not be disparity among the students living in different parts of the states, because education is one.
Yes.
It should be addressed by all. It should be addressed by the government so that it reaches to each and every nook and corner of the state.
Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Lakpati says, so he has mentioned that even though the schools have reopened, there still seems to be a lot of disparity between among those who are still in the valley, residing in the valley, and those who are hit by the violence directly. I mean, those who have been victims. My question, I'll be coming to Mr. Rajivkumar Narengbam, Dr. Rajivkumar again. So my question is to you is that, do you think that it is feasible to conduct exams right away, right after reopening schools, considering the emotional and psychological state of students who have been through the trauma of displacement and the violence? What are your thoughts?
Yes, someone was there that to open the schools, especially when the consideration was there for the private schools. They have already started the classes somehow. But since the course has been conducted for almost 1 month and 1.5 months almost, so they can conduct the examination for the private school sectors. But considering to the private government sectors, since they have not started the classes, there will be partiality. There will be a difference because they cannot conduct even the classes properly. So how can there be an examination? The examination can be conducted only when the process of the classroom transactions are well conducted. So the evaluation can be done. So in this context, what we can see is, because examination is not the importance here. It is the importance of the classes, normal conduct of the classes. Evaluation or in the examination or the midterm examinations are just to assess the status of the IQ, the knowledge, whatever they have acquired during the transaction of the classes. So, in my opinion, now almost all schools, especially in the village area here, these valley areas, they have started. And some part of the hill districts also, where the conflict is not reaching properly, so they have started. They conduct the things. In the context, even in my institution IRE, so we have 57 students in the residential, which are as a relief students. So they are supported by the institutions with fooding and lodging. It's a residential school. So they are enjoying the classes. They are just somehow, but the government has to take certain precautions and care that whether they are given adequate food, whether they are given other facilities. So this has also to be checked. So somehow, I in my opinion, the relief camps has so many students coming from the danger areas. They are run away from the conflict areas. So there are so many students which are somehow adjusted in the government nearby schools. But the government has to take certain actions, certain precautions, whether they are given proper or adequate supply of essential items like books. Admission is on. Some schools have provided free education, free admission.
Yes, yes.
But whether they are given adequate food,
Yes.
and even government also can take certain steps where some residents there are so many schools running hostels. So
Yes.
in a very less number or the certain considerable number of students can be adjusted from the relief camps also,
Yes.
so that their relief world is somehow relieved. So this is my opinion, and government can take certain steps where the students coming from the conflict areas, the relief camps can be accommodated to some schools which are having hostels, borders. So in my institution right now we have 57 students accommodated from Kodomboki relief camp
Okay.
and the Wangjing
Okay.
camp. So they are given free fooding from our side. The government has not taken up any relief
Okay.
for us.
Right.
They have not seen us. So it is their duty to identify whether the 57 students are really taken care of or not.
Yes, exactly.
So somehow this type of sampling has to be, like, it should be distributed to other parts of the areas where the schools having boardings can be accommodated with less number of like 10 or 15 students, somehow can be accommodated. So we have to see in such a way. So once the classes are started, then your question of this proper evaluation, proper examination can be conducted.
Okay.
And another shortfall is the government has not started properly their
Yes.
classes, and especially from class 9 to class 10, even 11, 12, which are a very important phase of their education. Their time of education is very important at this class 9, 10, and 11, 12. So they
Yes,
have
right.
not started this classes properly. They are doing their own coaching classes. They're doing their own self-study. That's what we can say.
So, okay, thank you for this insightful input, Dr. Rajivkumar. So basically, Dr. Rajivkumar, he mentioned that to start examinations right away, it's not of that much of an importance currently, because the focus has to be given to the students, and to see and to ensure that the students are included in and are well taken care of. And also he also gave us an insight that there are many residential schools that have residences and hostels and lodgings, and to accommodate these students and to ensure their education goes without any hindrance. That was very insightful. My next question is, I'm coming back to Mr. Lakpati again. So since we heard about this, one of the methods that can be done by the government. So what are would you like to add anything more? What are the strategies that the government needs to take up to ensure and support the students who have missed a lot of the classes, and also since already 1.5 months have passed and still a lot of the students have not gotten their due education till now. So what other strategies can be added? Your thoughts?
We can see that in any form of education system, there is a certain thing called academic calendar. So already the academic calendar has been hampered due to the ongoing situation.
Yes.
So conducting of examinations on what basis? That will be a question, because few students are now regularly attending schools, while majority of the students are unable to do so. So there is a part called the syllabus, the coverage of syllabus and all. So how the government will be going to conducting those examination itself is of major concern at the moment. So, and apart from those things, there is another thing is that, the government had already issued order to reopen the school. But what about the security of the students? Curfew has been clamping off and on every now and then. Whenever something arises, curfew will be clamped at any moment of the day. So how much secure are those students while while they are attending their schools and all? So conducting of examinations will be for a namesake if it is done at the moment, because all the students living attending the schools or whoever are in the relief camp are not able to have that privilege to get those lessons learned in their syllabus. So conducting of examination will be a far-sighted dream, if I have to say, because you cannot simply call on students and let them sit on a table in a chair without having nothing in their brain to write down everything on the paper. That will be, that will be an absurd thing. But at the moment, I would also like to appreciate all the private, schools who have been accommodating the violence-hit student at many residential schools across valleys. The owners of the schools should be appreciated from deep down from the heart, and yes, their endeavor should be seen as an example by the government too. Because if the private entrepreneur, if they can do, then why not the government? Government have all the machineries in their hand. They have everything in their hand to set these things right.
Yes.
So I think the government need to take another, extreme action towards this, because students, if a generation of students, if they get lost, and as I mentioned earlier, there will be the machineries that run the government in the next after the next 2 decades in every section, every part. As I have mentioned, the legislature wing, the judiciary, the executive, and as a professional in the media sector. So they are the people who are going to be a part of the machineries that runs the government. So they need to be educated at this moment, and education should be made free from all this violence. From every section, people from the CSOs and people from every section of the society should make education free from everything, and it should be let go smoothly so that we have a better and brighter future ahead.
Yes. Okay, a very good point from Mr. N. Lakpati, that especially the students, since when in the future they will also be running the government machineries, and for that the onus is on the government to ensure that it continues without any hindrance. My next question is again to Dr. Rajivkumar Narengbam. Is that we have seen that a lot of school buses in the morning, students in uniforms, school vans, all going to their respective classes to attend the classes in person. So for those who cannot attend the classes, and since the broadband connections have recently been restored, and even though a lot of the people still do not have access to internet, my question to you is that can the government and the schools and the teachers utilize the internet access in the best possible way to provide their classes in the best optimum way for those who are displaced, for those who are in the relief camps, and for those who cannot attend the classes in person? How can the technology and internet be used in this regard?
It's a beautiful question. Technology-wise, now it's at IT technology. It's a very super fast technology is ahead.
Yes.
But we are far lacking since the starting of this conflict from May 3rd. And on that instant day itself, the network has been cut off totally. We can see that our working days has been completely flopped. Out of the 365 days, the main working days has to be not less than 200 working days. but somehow we can negotiate with 160, 190, 170, 80. Up to that level we can negotiate.
Okay.
But at this critical hour of our this conflict, we are so doubtful that we can reach even 150
Right.
days.
Right.
It is quite impossible at this moment. And the government has to take certain importance of the education, because with certain appeal, with certain understanding, and we have to understand ourselves that our future pillars lies in the students. And students nowadays, because when they are going to the given classes, because they are not mentally normal, they are quite disturbed, and when they are sitting in the classroom also, they are quite in war mentally.
Yes.
So anytime, any moment, some news are coming up that this killing was there, this conflict was there, the terrible side is like this, then so these type of psychological imbalances are really creating the problem with the school-going children. When they are attending the classes, inside the classes also, they are not properly understanding the classes, the topic discussed in the classes. So we can see two areas where the academic atmosphere must be maintained somehow or the other. The government has to take certain initiatives just to control the normalcy in the classrooms, in the schools, maybe government, private or aided, whatever. So they should not be hampered, they should not be disturbed at any cost. And the teachers, especially working in the schools, must not be disturbed at any cost, because they are the makers, they are the creator of the future pillars. So we understand that this is a critical time of war between the two communities. So it's our duty to take part in the war, but somehow we can adjust a shift, because these schools and educational institutions must be somehow open. That's my appeal. And we should not always, we should also try to focus that minimum 210 is the requirement of the academic schedule, the academic calendar of any institution. But somehow we cannot reach. Manipur has been facing this critical condition of not fulfilling 210 working days since so many decades, because Manipur has somehow, we have been having economic blockade, sometimes so many unwanted incidents are happening. So because of all these conditions, we cannot reach 180 or 70 days, in some areas or in some years also. So since we cannot get this requirement of the days, working days, so education has been somewhere collapsing. There is a default in the structured educational importance. So these are not fulfilled in the students' mind. The academic atmosphere is somewhere it's broken up. So we have to see that this can be mended, this can be reorganized once the government, our state government, take certain initiative to control all these measures. So this is my appeal, that student teachers going to schools must not be disturbed, because they have a certain school hours which they can take part in building up the nation. So I think they should not be given any disturbance. When the school vans, school bus are going, they should not be disturbed. When they are coming back to home, they should not be disturbed. So that's it. I think these are the requirements at the moment, because psychologically they are blocked whether their school's bus will be, because see what we hear is the attendance in the classroom is not up to mark. And schools are open, even government, private or aided schools, they are not having the requisite number of attendance. See, because the parents doesn't want to send the students at this critical hour. Anything may happen, any moment. So due to the fright of these conditions, they don't want to send, because it's after all course of life. is more important than the education at the moment. This is what the mentality of the parents are here. So some government has to take certain initiatives just to bring normalcy in the mindset of the parents.
Okay, just to interrupt you, Ms. Dr. Rajivkumar. So, what strategies and what these safety measures can the government ensure for the students? Since we have curfew relaxations for almost 12 hours a day, and the school have been having some classes already, and with their school buses and vans.
Government has to announce.
Yeah.
Government has to announce publicly with guarantee that students and teachers will be free from all these unwanted things. They should be given or even taken care of with the security personnel just to not to happen anything unwanted things during their process of going to schools, from home to school and from school to home. So once this establishment is there, then there will be a confidence to the parents. So this establishment is very important. So this is only can happen with the initiative of the government. When the announcement is properly done, when the systems are properly organized, then the public also will definitely follow the thing. Whether there is a war, whether there is a conflict, they will not see, because it's after all our students, our children, who will be the pillar of the next generation. So it is their duty that to send the students to the schools safely and come back safely. That's all.
Okay. It's still again once again that the onus is on the government. So I'm coming back to Mr. N. Lakpati. So my question is that since the government also has there a lot of roles to still fulfill yet, and my concern is now comes to the teachers. Do you think the teachers also has a responsibility to ensure that the students, since they are already very much affected by this violence and they are even facing traumas, do you think the teachers are also responsible to ensure that the students are in a state of mind where they can still learn and thrive?
Okay, while addressing this issue, we should not forget that there are 60,000 displaced people due to this violence, and they are living in every part of the state, scattered. So let us take mathematically, if 1/4 of those number are children or students, then there are around 15,000 students might be there who are displaced at the moment. My question is, has the government issued the order of reopening of the school without looking into the feasibility, whether the government teachers are ready to take classes?
Yeah.
Are all the schools ready to open? Yes, the government teachers are from all the sections of the community, which is now under this, this violence, which are under the atmosphere of this violence. So are the teachers ready to take classes? Is the government ready to ensure 100% safety to the students and the teacher who are going to get into the schools to conduct the classes, and to the students who are going to attend the schools? That is the main question. Though the thing is that this is a matter of serious concern. The issue is of a matter of serious concern, and the government should issue orders after looking into various factors. And the issue can be ordered for reopening of the schools, but whether it is being opened or not, or are a regular report are being taken up by the respective DIs or the JEOs, that is another thing that we have to look into. Issuing an order and leaving it as it is will not serve the purpose. Coming to the point, yes, the teachers across the communities should be transferred at the place where they seem to be safe, and they should be made ready to take classes. And the government, if the schools and other educational institutions right now is being used as relief camp or the place where security personnel are staying, are putting up, then they have to, seek another avenue, another place where the students can be accumulated. In the academic curriculum for elementary level from 3 to 5, yes, it can be done in groups and other things. But when we come into senior secondary level, class 9, 10, 11, 12, if you go for science stream, you will have, practical classes and all. So how will you adjust those things again? Those are another important part. In class 12 examination, I think practical examinations consist around 30% of the total mark. So it is another important aspect that needs to be addressed. We cannot club them together in any community halls or in any public centers or in any community centers to take class as a whole. There is a specific set of criteria for each and every stream of the subject if we start talking for class 11 and 12. So it is high time that the government machineries, along with the Department of Education, including the Ministry of Education, come and sit together and look out for plans. And they should also take the private schools, the people in private schools, the owners of the private schools, along with them, so that they can accommodate maximum number of students, so that they can complete their syllabi, they can study at free, without hassle-free, in an hassle-free environment, so that they can be educated as per the syllabus they are being given by respective boards and councils. So it is in the hand of the government as of the moment, because all the machineries, the board, the council, the Department of Education, are all controlled, the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, are all controlled by the government only. So it is their full responsibility that when an order has been issued for reopening of the school, it is their responsibility to make it happen. It's not that you have issued an order and people living in the displaced children, the displaced family, how will they afford their children into the schools? That is the main thing that the government need to address. It is already in the hand of government. Nobody has anything to do while the issued order is accomplished. The mission with which the order has been issued, it has to be accomplished. Then, if it has to be accomplished, then it is in the hand of the government, full out in the hands of the government.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lakpati, for your input. So, so again, I'll be coming back, since the Dr. Rajivkumar has also previously mentioned about the working days that a lot of the days has already been lost. So my question is, coming back to you, that should there be a revised academic calendar and assessment pattern for this unique problem and the problems faced by the students? Since do you think the board and the council will be ready to postpone their examinations, the board examinations? Should there be any kind of academic reorganization, should I say? Your thoughts?
It's a very important question. Since our panelist also has rightly said, pointed out the difficulties, the pros and cons of this the situation right now. Yes, during the COVID time, I was also part of this syllabus committee from class 1 to the SART. So we revised certain chapters which are not that important, and some important chapters which are very much considerable, are selected for during the COVID. Because when the COVID situation was very tight, from one month to second month, then third month, then year-wise, so somehow online classes has to be there, online examination has to be there. So we minimize the chapters, we minimize the syllabus. Syllabus in the sense that certain areas were not that important, but considerably which can be adjusted, are reduced, and we brought some part of the syllabus which are very much important and necessary to be examined or just to make it fulfilled. That was the criteria, it has to be done. And from the side of the board and the council, they have to see and wait certain time. They have to be given certain, because 1 month or 2 months has to be delayed because of this situation. This is actually an unwanted situation which nobody prefers to actually face it. So somehow we are facing this critical time, but as I said, the parents really wanted their children to be in the school safely, but it doesn't happen, because when the parents or the elders are taking part in the agitation, what are the children doing at home or somewhere? So it is it is the want of the people, parents, all the parents almost, because every family has a children who are school goers. So school going children, somehow if they are placed in a place where the government ensures complete safety for going and coming back. So if the government can ensure this 100% safety or even 90% safety, all parents will send their children to the schools. So this is one area. And as our panelist also has rightly pointed out, that there are so many thousands and thousands of displaced families in the relief camps, and which are also scattered in the relatives areas or some other neighboring areas. So it is high time the government detects the number of students, the displaced students, the numbers of the displaced students. It is still questionable how many students are under the displaced condition. So it's we can make certain policies which are not adequate and which are not applicable. But it is high time that the government or any stakeholders, any institutions taking part in this entire system has to consciously volunteer each other, cooperate each other, and give a solution to the children who are in the displaced area. Not only that, unaffected families, which their children are not going to schools properly because of the situation, has to also to be seen. So it's a collective responsibility for all of us, all the citizens of Manipur, to take certain precautions and the considerable areas. Even the Mairapaitis, I would like to appeal the Mairapaitis, I would like to appeal the CSOs to just relax the schools, where it may be government, private or aided, just to relax, because this will save our nation, our Kanglipak, our Manipur in the long run, because they should not be hampered, because relaxing them will contribute in our future. So it's a critical time of war, conflict, but we should take part at our leisure time. We should also take part in the system where people are really agitating our demands and our requirements has to be on the process. But there should be a relaxing time for the school hours, because minimum credit points, the credit hours has to be given for every schools, every children's, every teachers who are transacting their lessons. This is what I can say. And I must appeal the government that it is high time to ensure complete safety measures, and also ensure the parents, the students, any stakeholders, that they are safe and sound in their institutions, and their classes are conducted under their supervision and under their special security measures.
Okay, thank you for your views. That it is also not only that the government needs to put the safety measures and make the announcement, and also to make it a confirming act for the students to put for the students and the parents of the students to put their trust that the safety measures are taken, and there can be an atmosphere of academics. So coming back again to Mr. N. Lakpati. From some information that I've gathered, I've heard that most of the schools currently, since the reopening, they are not really teaching the students the syllabus completely, since the exams are near, so they are only discussing the questions and the answers, like suggestions that most students want. So they're going, the teaching format currently is like giving away the questions and the answers. So if this situation continues, what will be the status of our students in the future? Your thoughts?
That is the most saddening part. But it is due to the issue that almost since May 3rd, all the schools have been closed down. So only on 10th of August, the reopening, the order for reopening of schools was issued by the Department of Education. So within that time frame, from May and June and July, almost around 3 months, there were not a single lecture being given to the students in the school. So the only thing they are now going to do is, we know that they will be giving some questions and answers from examination point of view. They will be made to, learn that, read them by heart, so that they could write something on the paper anytime when examinations comes into. But the main issue, the main thing is that is the thing that you have said, the reading out of questions, giving of answers, and teaching nothing apart from that. That is an issue that needs to be addressed, because reading and by reading and only the question and answers given by the teachers is not real education. It is much of a type of spoon-fed kind of things. So the thing is that rightly said that there has to be some omission in the syllabus, which what are important, what are not important, what needs to be taken into the higher class once they are promoted into the next level. So seeing into that, so that the basics that the students need are not hampered. So there has to be some streamlining of the syllabus as of the moment. If you are about to conduct some type of final examinations and all, then you have to streamline the syllabus like they did during the time of COVID. Otherwise, giving some questions and letting them learn the answers by heart will not serve the purpose of education. It will be just like reading out something and writing down on a paper, getting some marks, going into higher class. It will be a type
like
of
that it will become very mechanical for the students.
Very much, whenever they are into their higher classes and some related topics are discussed, then they will not be knowing those things if they are not taught in their lower classes and all. So yes, there has to be some streamlining of the syllabus, as mentioned before. There has to be some omission so that their academic year is not hampered, because postponement will not serve. Because Manipur is not only the state in India. India is a very vast country. So our postponement of examination will only deter the academic year of the student, as we have seen in before 2-3 decades, where in Manipur graduation takes around 5 years to complete. And when they go into the other state or other universities outside Manipur, they have to be with the students which were once 2 years younger than them. So the postponement will not serve. It will only deter. It will only consume more time, and it will hamper the academic career of the student. So rightly said, there has to be some streamlining of the syllabus so that they can go into the next class without hampering their basics, without neglecting their basics, so that they could understand what is going to be taught in the higher class in the next level. So another thing in this, as I would like to say, is that the government having issued the order to reopen the school. So the question is, are there any reports on how many students from the relief center, from the displaced family, has been enrolled till today? As I have said, issuing an order and without supervising it or without overlooking into it, we are not, the order will not serve any purpose. They have to see how many students from the displaced family, how many students have been enrolled into the schools or into the allotted schools from the displaced. They have to have a report. They should have a report on that. Only then we can see the order being issued is served. Otherwise, it will be another piece of paper going into government file.
Okay, very good point. Very good point from Mr. Lakpati. So basically, just issuing the order of reopening and not looking into it on the functioning, and it's just another way of saying that it's just another way of taking the check mark that the normalcy has returned yet, but there is still no real work done on the ground. I'm coming back to Dr. Rajiv. My question again, I'm coming to you. There's many teachers that have been posted in the hills before, that are currently in the valley. They are very reluctant to go to the hills, even though the schools have opened. With the present situation, there is still no way at all for the teachers to go, and nor for the students who are residing in the hills, especially Chorachandpur and even in the other Kangpokpi districts, to come to Imphal to continue their education. Could you share your views on how to remedy this?
Yeah, it's a very serious conflict situation at the moment. So everyone will be so much reluctant, and they will be frightful to go to their original posting. It's a question of life and death, because the conflict is too serious that anything can happen. So it's not shaped for both sides. So so here our parental talks has to be done by the government only, because they have to issue certain allocations of their duties somewhere in the nearby places where they are quite safe, and they can also contribute to the local where they belongs to. So it can be one of the remedy. It may not be permanent. It may be a temporary solution, but they should be somehow, because their resources are very important. The teachers who are not going to their hill posting areas can be adjusted somewhere in the nearby schools or any other areas where, if the government is really taking certain seriousness on the education sector, they can implement certain things. Because for the relief, so many constructions are going on. So for schools also, if the schools are not in the conditions to open up, so they can somehow arrange it. Because open air classes can be done, some mandap type class also can be done, just to accommodate, because it's a lapse of time. Now the importance is lapse of time. One day gone means gone. In one day, the resource can be very much. So the transaction hour acquired in a day has to be counted. As our panelist also has rightly said, that there is no specific data as yet, to my concern, how many relief students are there, whether they are really enrolled in the schools. Is it a formality, or is it really a commitment to do certain benefit activities? So it's a question now. Now, what I can say is, if the system is going on like this, then we are in a setback. Now, due to the constraint of time, due to the constraint of this academic atmosphere, not fulfilling the 210 working days. Now there will be a shortcut. There are certain institutions who want pen, name. So they will do certain definition of education by rote memories. They will do certain copycat type. Rote memories is the tradition going on right now. Now education as per National Policy of Education 2020, is an activity based. We have to focus that students really learn the lesson. That's important. It's not that they have given very good examination. It is important that they understand the content of the lesson, understand the lesson, they can do it practically. That's important.
Hands-on learning.
Yes, it's the benefit of the real learning. So learning, the measurement of learning has to be really understood. It may not be too big. Even one quantum of lesson which can give their lifetime learning is more important than 100 lessons without understanding the concept. So this is my suggestion, and I must suggest that at this moment there are teachers who are not able to go to the posting areas, so they can be somehow adjusted, and they can be given certain allotments by the government. Maybe they can be used in the private schools or any institution where the relief students are. So they can be used somehow.
Okay, so the target is to target to the students to whatever resources that we currently have, even including the time constraint and everything. So thank you for your input. So, and in the present difficult situation, parents know that the government is not doing enough for the education of our children. It is far below expectations. Time is flying away and children are growing up fast. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We cannot wait for the government to wake up to this situation. The onus is on the government to be serious. Schools have reopened and exams have been scheduled hastily. Syllabus is far from being completed. Parents are desperate and so are the children. What are the desperate measures? Private tutors. The students are thronging into private tutors. They charge between 6,000 to 8,000 per subject. The total cost of the course comes around 27,000. Parents are selling off their valuables, even land, to finance their studies. It looks like there is no other way than this. This question is open to all our panelists and even to our viewers as a food for thought. Should the government compensate the parents monetarily on moral ground? The government compensates for other losses as well. Why not compensate for such a big loss in our children's education? This question is open to both our panelists. Dr. Rajiv and Dr. Mr.
I'll come into that.
Okay. We seem to have a technical, I think we seem to have a technical error. So it was a very engaging and interactive session that we had today. So basically, even though the order for the reopening of the classes have been issued, the government needs to lay down the real groundwork and overlook that and look into those displays and whether the classes are really going on and whether the students are really being affected and really being benefited. And in order to sum up today's prioritizing in education, the focus is to those displaced and the victims to really be included in this academic session and to have a thriving academic life. That's all for today. We discussed very good points, and due to time constraint, we'll have to wrap up the episode right here. I'd like to thank our panelists, Dr. Rajivkumar and Mr. N. Lakpati, for joining us on this debate. I would also like to thank to our viewers for tuning in tonight. Please share your feedback and comments with us. We'll be back again next Monday, same time, with more exciting topics. Please keep watching ELITE TV. This is Amrita signing off. Have a good week.